something ran into this thing and it ended up being a moose.
Let's go take a look and see what's inside these emergency shelters.
You all see that moose down there? I'm gonna look at him running.
450 for some Progresso.
Hello YouTubers, Alaska Prepper here. Well, ladies and gentlemen, the world is falling apart. We all know that. Here in the United States, we're definitely going to have some kind of a financial crisis, economic collapse. The banks are going to bail in, etc., etc., etc. Things that have happened in the past, except this time it's going to be worse. And I can sit here and tell you the other 10 things or 12 things that are going to go wrong that we have to prepare for. But the fact of the matter is that there's another prep that we need to do every once in a while, and that's to forget the world. We're going to take a little road trip today to Circle, Alaska. No, not the Arctic Circle, just Circle, Alaska. It's a small town of about 100 people or so. That's about 160 miles northeast of Fairbanks. And it's at the end of Steese Highway and along the Yukon River. So we should be able to see the Yukon River. It's probably still frozen once we get to the end of the Steese Highway. Now, Circle was actually named by miners in the late 19th century who actually believed that the town was on the Arctic Circle, but it's not. The Arctic Circle is about 50 miles or so north of Circle, and maybe we'll take a trip to the Arctic Circle here later on this summer. And there is a small town in between Circle and Fairbanks, and that's called Central. And we're going to go ahead and stop in Central and take a look at the small general store, which kind of like acts as everything. And then after that, we'll go ahead and head over to Circle just to see what a small village of 100 or so people look like. I've always been interested in seeing how it looks out there, pretty much where there aren't really many services as we're accustomed to having them here closer to town. So this road that we're on right now is the Steese Highway, and eventually it will turn from pavement to a dirt road or a gravel road. And on our way there, we're going to go ahead and pull off in a couple of places before we actually get to Central, the first town that we're going to hit. And one of the first places we're going to pull off is going to be into this scenic overview right here, which, as you can see, it is beautiful country out here. The next spot we're going to pull over, oh, wait a minute, take a look at this. This, ladies and gentlemen, is something that I've never ever seen before in my life. Something ran into this thing and it ended up being a moose. Now, I can't show too much of the graphic aspect of this picture, but this is a huge moose in the middle of the road and something very big hit it. I'm guessing it was probably a semi-truck or something like that. And I've never seen that much blood on pavement before. Wow, this is going to be a feast for all of the birds and animals around here. And it will get cleaned up pretty quickly. I just hope that whoever hit this thing is safe and nothing happened to them. And not too long after that moose incident, we actually hit gravel road. And our next stop is going to be another scenic view that's called Pinnell Mountain, I believe. And we are actually gaining an elevation. Take a look at all of the snow that is still not melted off of here. And at Pinnell Mountain, we actually ran into something very cool. Another one of those things that I've never come across, and it's a survival shelter. And we're going to go ahead and go inside and show you everything that's in there, because it's pretty neat what people do around here to help those that may be in need in an emergency type of a situation. But first, we're going to go ahead and stop on top of the mountain here, take a look at some of the sights, and let the dogs get out and stretch their legs. There is Lulu, all muddy from playing outside, and she's really enjoying herself on her first real road trip. And I just think that this picture right here is priceless.
Let's go take a look and see what's inside these emergency shelters, if I can get there safely, that is.
see. It says Eagle Summit Emergency Shelter. And let's see. I have no idea what's in here. It really is an emergency shelter. It's got, well, I mean, you can see for yourself. There's a sleeping bag there with a pad. You've got some wood for fire here, although I don't know where you would make the fire because there's no stove. Let's see what this is. There's some jackets and stuff in there. It says, in loving memory of Johnny and Tanya Carroll, please be respectful. And look at that, there's MREs in there. That is pretty cool that they have this kind of stuff here. Neat. I think I'm gonna go get my wife and my daughter so they can come and take a look at it, and maybe we'll put something extra in here, a little bit of food or something to add to the emergency shelter. And they have some water up here. They have paper towels, some crackers. People have left their messages here. I love Alaska. My wife actually came back in here and she put a lighter in here because we had more than one in our pack. So hopefully nobody really needs to use this, but it's kind of nice that it's here.
You all see that moose down there? I'm gonna look at him running.
I don't want to scare him so he jumps over either.
I'm not gonna try to scare him. I'm gonna give him his room. I don't want him to get hurt, him or her. Look at him running though. You see his legs his legs are white.
Now this was a really cool experience, and as you can see, ladies and gentlemen, we never really got so close to it where it panicked. It kept a pretty steady pace though. I was surprised that it ran so long at about 20 to 25 miles an hour. So this is an animal that I definitely would not want to try to outrun in the wild. And eventually there was a clearing where he could take a left-hand turn and go back to his or her type of nature. And I think it turned around on the top of that hill there to say goodbye. And here we are now approaching the town of Central, and this is actually a very neat little town. It's my type of town, to tell you the truth. This is the only gas station on our way to Circle. And is that old school or what, ladies and gentlemen? And look, there's a little camera. We're being watched. And it's $5.50 a gallon right now. So it's averaging about $1.30, $1.40 more than what we regularly pay down in town in Fairbanks. Not too bad. My big old Suburban's been averaging about 15 miles a gallon or so on this trip. So ladies and gentlemen, this small gas station is not only the town gas station, but it's the town's bar. It's the, you have a post office on the other side, right?
Down the road about half a mile.
Okay, and it's also the town convenience store, and you're also like a little restaurant, right?
Yes.
And in case I forgot to mention it, this is also the local Red Box. And no, in all actuality, this is free. People bring in movies, they donate them, and then people come in and out and borrow them for a few days at a time. And here is the ice cream section. It's the produce, juices. Ladies and gentlemen, this is as small that a small town gets. This right here is the frozen section of the town supermarket. That is awesome.
Well, we're eventually building up.
I kind of like it small like this. And how often do you go into town to restock?
In the wintertime, usually once a week.
Okay. Well, ladies and gentlemen, this here is the liquor store, and let me introduce you to Dennis.
Hi, everybody.
He works here. How long have you been working here?
A year now.
And how long have you lived here?
4 years in Alaska.
And this is
2 years here.
oh, 4 years in Alaska. Where are you from?
Louisiana.
Louisiana. Awesome, man.
Born and
Now,
raised.
the name of this town is Central.
Central.
Okay, I kept
Alaska.
saying center earlier on, but it's Central.
Alaska.
All right, and this is the liquor store.
Yes.
So, do you all have a liquor license?
Yes.
Look at this, ladies and gentlemen. This is your liquor store right here. Look at that. That's awesome. Oh, Twisted Tea. Whoa! What in the world's going on with this, Dennis?
Hey,
we'll
that
talk about this off camera, all right?
That ain't much noise.
And here is their overflow. This actually goes to the bar. And ladies and gentlemen, this is also the hospital. Here you go. This is the hospital part of Central. Obviously, the price reflects the remote location that we're at because it takes so much effort and energy to make it all the way to town and then bring it back here to resell it. But it is a service that people are willing to pay. Willing to pay for, because a lot of people are not going to be going into town every week like they do here. And Dennis was also explaining to me that a lot of times when they do go into town to replenish the store here, they'll take orders from families and people that live in town so that they can pick it up for them as well. But here you go. Let's see what the prices are. Well, that's not too bad. 50 cents for a ramen. Oh, if you want this kind, it's going to be $1 though. It looks like the beef ramen is the one on sale this week. $6 for Skippy, $8 for Jif. For these small 1-pounders, this is actually not a terrible deal when you compare it to these guys. $11 for the big one. $4.50 for some Progresso. And to tell you the truth, the prices are not terrible when you compare them to some of the villages that are really remote. I'm just going to be quiet for a minute and show you the prices on things. That way you can have an idea of what the prices are here. Central Alaska. That's actually not a total price for these calculators. A measuring cup. A coffee maker, that's not terrible. This is pretty pricey here. $7 for some paper or paper bowls. $6 for 50 paper plates. $38 for some dog food. $7 for some Ziplocs, $9 for freezer paper,
One of our locals from Circle. 2 years ago. So we
Can I
moved up
record
here-
you?
Yeah.
So you say your husband and yourself, oh, you've only been here 2 years.
Yeah, well, we've been mining in Alaska since 2006.
Oh,
so we've
nice.
Been in Alaska every single summer since 2006. And we have a store down in Quartzsite, Arizona. It's
Okay.
Depot. So it's anything and everything, small scale recreational gold mining. And then we just decided that we wanted to be here year round. So we moved
Awesome.
2 years ago. And we run
Well,
a gold mining camp out of here too. So
When you told me that it was cash only and you told me that I can go pump my gas without leaving any money out, that sold me on this small town.
Yep, that's awesome.
I love
Yep,
that.
That's trust. Yep.
Well, ladies and gentlemen, this is small town Alaska here. And I'm sure that this store right here is probably big compared to some of the other stores that are in the small villages that are outside pretty much in the middle of nowhere. Very nice people and very nice little spot, but we have to get going. if we're gonna make it to Circle. Now, I'm not sure if you've noticed, but this is not really the place that you want to break down. Reading up before we came here, they said that they do recommend that you bring 2 spares or 2 spare tires for your vehicle and make sure that you have all of the safety equipment you need. In addition to that, I would recommend that you bring whatever you need in order to spend a night in case you have to. And we finally made it to the city of Circle, where the Stees Highway ends, and we can see the Yukon River. And to tell you the truth, ladies and gentlemen, there's not many people out today, and we inquired why, and it's because after they get paid, they usually take off and try to go into town to resupply and such. At least that's what we were told. And we're just going to stop for a few minutes here to stretch our legs, let the dogs stretch their legs and take a look at the Yukon River. But at least we can cross this one off our bucket list. We made it to all the way where the Stees Highway ends. Our next one may be the Arctic Circle. We'll have to see how the summer plays out. Having said that, I hope that you had a pretty good time checking out Central and Circle, Alaska. Thank you very much for joining in, especially if you're still here during this part of the video. God bless every one of you. God bless America. I'm Alaska Prepper. I'm out.